Hello everyone and welcome back to Magic Gathering Strat and the fourth and final match with Shuyan in Tiny Leaders. I'm facing off in the finals against Ashling the Pilgrim, and the pilot is my good old friend Martin, who taught me how to play the game. He crushed me so many times so I can't count it anymore, but I do believe I've evolved since then. So turn 1 Valakut is not really what I'm interested in, but I do have to say that I'm happy to play against mono red, because that's the deck I prepared for the most, or any red aggressive deck, which shows in the sideboard with like Circle of Protection red, Core Firewalker, Hydroblast. I mean, it's just a lot of good cards in that sideboard. Not too happy with the Knight though, because it has protection from white and my removal spell in hand is Lightning Helix. But I figure that another creature will join the battle soon enough. Now he's pondering, should I play something or to play around a counterspell? But he decides to go for a Jaya Ballard, which I'm happy to Lightning Helix. So yeah, the start here is like the most optimal thing I can imagine. I have a pretty good life total and a True Name Nemesis in play, and I just can't figure out any card that a mono red deck could have main deck that would actually kill True Name Nemesis. It's not like they're playing a Ratchet Bomb or something in the main. Maybe one in the sideboard, but True Name Nemesis seems like a really awkward card to play against. I guess a Skull Crack or something that says that damage can't be prevented, but it's still not really that likely. So a Rebel Master joins in, and I'm gonna block the token. We're shortcutting a bit here because so far every round has gone to time, so we don't want that. I'm just gonna add to the board with a Young Pyromancer and just start building. I mean, my creatures is better than my opponent's creatures, so it's not that hard. All I need really is to keep hitting land drops and just play my game, and it should be fine. The crucial part would be if I were at like 15 now, but as you see, I can even play a Gitaxian Probe, paying the life. So a lot of old cards here. It's basically a Lightning Bolt with buyback, Barbarian Ring, and a removal spell. So I'm not too unhappy with that. I mean, sure, the Lightning Bolt could be a way to win the game if it goes long, but it's still like 3 damage every other turn is not that impressive. So as long as I can stay above like 15, I should be fine. So I'm getting some tokens, and I even get to deploy Sense's Dividing Top. Even though that card is glacial slow, it's still okay. So my Young Pyromancer is dead and gone, but that's fine. I still have a bunch of blockers, and yeah, overall it seems like a pretty good match right now for me. So token and stupid ferocious phoenix. I mean, I have to read it because all of the phoenixes does basically the same thing, but I just wanted to know how this one would be able to come back, because that determines the way I'm going to play the game. Unfortunately, here I have a couple of swords in hand, but no 5th land. So that's like, if I could land Sword of Feast and Famine this turn, hit with True Name Nemesis, and play and equip a Sword of Fire and Ice, that would be probably enough for Martin to scoop. But I don't have the 5th land, so I'm just gonna deploy Sword of Fire and Ice instead, because I think that in this particular matchup, it's probably a better sword right now. And I also know what my opponent has in hand, and it's like, yeah, the discard aspect won't be that relevant, but it would be nice to start picking off creatures. So yes, the swords are pretty good, and I still claim that Sword of Fist and Famine should be banned. But that's just my opinion, though. But it is it is too good, I think. So there is a way, a pretty long way before Barbarian Ring is active, and even if it becomes active, I mean, despite this bolt, I'm still at 15, and I will be able to start picking off creatures, so it kind of feels like I'm way ahead. Now I get to use my Divining Top, which is nice, and I also find untapped lands, which is nice. Now I don't really need them to be untapped, but depending on how I want the next turn to be, I can equip, and I could play and equip Sword of Fist and Famine and Bash, but with that line I would leave myself somewhat vulnerable to a backswing, and I don't want that to happen. And this is somewhat of a gamble, but I know my opponent's hand, so I can equip a token instead and keep True Name Nemesis back. Since my token gets protection from red, it's just as good as the True Name Nemesis on the offensive, so I get to bash in and start picking off creatures, and I decide to go for the Rabble Master first, and the only reason really is that that's the card that could take over the game. The Phoenix I can manage. I mean, 2 damage a turn is okay. I did have an opening there to kill Ashling if I wanted to, but I was more interested in maybe my opponent draws a sword of his own and I need to respond. So Miracle Bonfire for 5 kills 1 token because True Name Nemesis and the second token has protection from red, so that's fine. And the stupid bird comes in for 2 more, and putting me to 8. So I could have electrolyzed it there, but I'm more afraid of Ashling at this point, because next turn, if it goes active, I will be at bolt range. But since Martin is tapped out, I can now safely kill it, and then it costs 4 to replay, giving me a full extra turn of no Ashling damage, and that feels like something I'm interested in. So I'm just gonna draw for my turn because I have enough stuff going on. So I'm just gonna play Sword of Fist and Famine and equip. So a pretty large attack here, also killing off the bird. I should have used the last mana to use the top, but whatever. It's not the most crucial of play mistakes. And then I get to play a Sphinx's Revelation for 3. Putting me at 10, which should be enough to finish this game. There is no attack, no cards in hand, 2 damage in the land. It's like this card has to be good and it's not. I guess Valakut is almost active. So Ashling comes back. I mean, if you manage to draw a card off the Snowland and draw something good, like, I mean, a Lightning Bolt and Chain Lightning maybe or something, he might be able to do something, but it does feel like I have this game locked up. Which is really good for me because my matchup gets a lot better post board, so if I can win game 1, it's almost a guarantee that I will win. So I'm thinking if I should play around something like Price of Progress, and I might as well. Right now it would do 8. So yeah, that could be a thing. I'm just gonna deploy a Mantis Rider to put my opponent on a 2-turn clock. Mantis Rider is also nice because it can it's still available to block afterwards. So a swing for 8, killing off Ashling the Pilgrim is pretty nice. And the Swords to Plowshares pretty much seals the deal, because now I can plow my own creature to gain a few life if I need to. So I'm deploying Shuyan, and now I have an overwhelming force against my opponent's top deck that has to be 8 damage. Which I'm pretty certain is not an option. Besides Price of Progress, that would do it, but and it turns out that my opponent has nothing in scoops. 1-0. Time for game 2 then, between myself playing Shuyan and Martin playing Ashling the Pilgrim. Of the more experienced and competitive players around our community, we have kinda agreed that if you're gonna play Mon-Red, you should play a bigger version, a go late version, and not jam lava spikes and stuff in there. That's our opinion though, so you're free to think otherwise, but we have found that that is the best line for the deck. And hopefully in a couple of weeks we'll be able to publish another 10 leaders series of videos with Chandra in focus, and that would explain our opinion a bit better. That you're almost playing red control, I guess. You're still aggressive, but you can win on turn 5 or 6 and still win on turn 28. That's not a problem. So I think that makes it a pretty interesting deck, actually. So this ponder reveals everything I need to fix my hand, because I have Core Firewalker, I have Counterspell, and some other stuff, and I need to be able to play everything. So Tundra was a no-brainer, but then I had to take damage to get another white into play to play Core Firewalker, and then I would be able I would have to take another 2 damage to be able to keep Counterspell up. So this ponder gave me a basic plains and a basic island, so that's everything I needed to happen. So Core Firewalker staring down Eidolon, which I'm fine with. I mean, I'm still at 22 and my hand is just super stacked against Mono-Red. I don't even know what Mono-Red can bring in to kill my stuff. I mean, killing enchantments it's like you can have Python Needle and like Ratchet Bomb or Engineer Explosives or something. Only for 1 though, so it's not super likely. Then I'm not really sure. I mean, there is a very limited amount of stuff that you can have. So now I have Core Firewalker and Circle of Protection Red in play, so that's nice. And I can be a bit more I can feel a bit freer with my life total than I would normally be able to. So I still haven't played a land that produces a red, but that's fine because I have another basic. And if I can, I would like to play basics all the time. So I kept Spell Snare up just in case, but I didn't think that I would need it. But this dude, if it connects, prevents me from gaining life for the rest of the game, and that's just no. That's not gonna happen. I don't think it will be able to connect, but I mean, if a sword comes down, for example, that gives it protection from white, and I don't have mana up for Circle of Protection, that's that's a way I could lose, and I think Spellsnare did its job perfectly there. So my plan now is just to stall the game and sit behind Circle of Protection for a little while, because I have Negate in hand, and I have Sword of Fire and Ice, I believe, and a counter spell. So what I want to do is get to 5 mana, play the sword but keep 2 mana open so that no attacks or burn spells and stuff can happen. Then untap, equip, and still have negate and circle up. So I drew sort of Fist and Famine, so I'm not sure why I'm even playing Stoneforge Mystic, because I never get to use it anyway. So this is also a tell, tapping out of all the red mana, leaving double blue up, but I mean, my opponent is expecting a counterspell either way, so it's not like it's a secret. So now my plan is going perfect. I mean, I've deployed a sort of Fist and Famine, which would allow me to play multiple things a turn, which is good. I have a Circle of Protection up, I have Core Firewalker ready, and a negate and counterspell in hand. At least I think I have a negate, but I have a counterspell at least. So now the only thing that I'm afraid of is a shatter effect, and that's why I didn't equip an attack right away, because if just a shatter happens, I mean, I get to hit for 2 and I get to take like 7 or 8 damage on the backswing. That's a way to lose the game, and I would like to win if I can. The winner of every Tiny Leaders tournament gets to choose one of the 5 commander decks, the new ones. So that's pretty cool. So now I can equip and just bash, and I could use more mana, but as I said, if I like tap out and an instant speed shatter effect happens, I take way too much damage. So I want to be attacking, but it has to be at a reasonable pace. For example, I could have played the sword pre-combat, bashed, untap, and have 5 mana for all my counter spells, but yeah. And here triggers were missed. I automatically just take the damage every time I play a spell, as long as I remember it. But now I forgot it, and my opponent did not announce anything, so it was missed. So here the attack comes, but since I have Hydroblast ready, I can prevent 5 damage, and I think that's enough. You don't need to tap out there, because now when Sword of Fire and Ice goes online as well, I just don't think I can lose. Martin had some stupid Snowland that could deal 4 damage, so I really wanted Core Firewalker to become bigger than a 4 toughness guy, if possible. And with the sword, or the swords, that's taken care of. So my hand is still Hydroblast, Counterspell, and I think Negate. Could be a Snapcaster Mage. It is stacked anyway. So there's the 5th land, but it's too late because now Core Firewalker is too big. Even if Core Firewalker would die here, I think it would be okay. So creatures can basically not attack anymore because I have so much mana for the Circle of Protection. Then again, some kind of spell that makes damage prevention, if it can negate that, that would be bad. But so here I get to hit for a lot of damage and knocking him down to 3, and I have an Electrolyze Snapcaster in hand, so I just don't see how I could lose from here, and counterspell and stuff. So yeah. But then again, it's Martin, so it could be some crazy stuff going on. You never know. But it turns out that my cards are too much, and Martin scoops them up 2-0, and I won the tournament. Thanks for watching.
Thank you for watching. Please like and subscribe, it really helps us out. You can find us on Twitter at MagicGathStrat, Facebook /MagicGatheringStrat, or on the web, magicgatheringstrat.com. There you can find articles and free prize-supported leagues. This is all brought to you by our Patreons and cardhoarder.com. If you enjoy this content, please consider supporting us at patreon.com/magicgatheringstrat.